Good evening, welcome back to the channel. Today's episode is a very different one. As you can see, a slight change of environment tonight. I'm back at the old stomping ground. Yeah, so I'm back at Newton Abbot Squash Club, which was my squash club for many years before I moved to Devon and Exeter. Back here training with a special guest tonight, Mr. Dan Goff. So he'll be here shortly and I will introduce you to him. Nice to be back, to be totally honest. We're going to show you some training sessions that me and him used to do and that we're going to try and make a habit of getting back into. So a slightly different video to what we've done up to now, but I hope you enjoy. Let's go find Dan, shall we? Here he is, Dan the man. Hello. Mr. Dan Goff, club captain, Newton Abbott. Are you still club captain?
Clinging on in there, mate.
Me and Dan have been training together. We were just working it out. It's since I was about 15, 16, wasn't it?
16 years.
So about 16 years we've worked out, which is longer than we both thought, I think. We haven't actually trained together for a long time, but I think we're going to start to make a bit of a habit of it, aren't we?
We'll make a try.
Yeah, so we've both got targets. So obviously everyone knows my target of 6K by the end of the season. Dan has his own goals and targets, which hopefully he's going to explain now.
Well, it won't be 6K, but we'll go for about 3K to start with and see how we get on from there, I think, really.
Yeah, ideal. Any ideas of kind of how you're going to get there? Any methods, or are you just going to try and play better people? Or
go easy on the drink.
Enter
a few more competitions, because there seems to be points to be had there.
Yeah. I mean, squash levels is one of those, isn't it, where it definitely, well, obviously rewards the people that play. So if you don't play enough, you're not going to go up quickly.
I was banging on the door of 2.8, and then I played in one of your competitions, got smashed, and went down 10%.
So don't enter my competition on a one day.
I need to be playing 3 or 4 times a week, really.
Okay, because your game is heavily reliant on movement and fitness generally, isn't it?
And the shots.
And your shot selection. Yeah, if anyone's seen Goffy play, it's on a piece of string all the time.
Absolutely, yeah.
Those cross-court nicks just firing like there's no tomorrow.
Pinging around. Sometimes you can be on and off in about 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
one way or the other.
So other than your movement, which for anyone that knows you knows that that's really a strong attribute for you, what would you say is your best kind of shot? What shot? I know we joke about the cross-court nicks,
I think my game, when I'm playing well, is about using my fitness, not necessarily to be chasing the ball around like a headless chicken, but to use the shots, keep the rallies long, vary the pace, and use my fitness to push players into making loose shots and then going in and chasing it down.
So Newton Abbott's Paul Cole is what you're saying?
Well, I'm not sure he's got the carts.
I was going to say, he came down a couple of years ago and I think he was very impressed with your ability. Goes without saying.
Absolutely.
We're going to now play a game.
Yep.
I'm going to be looking at, so I had a session with my coach today. I'm going to be looking at kind of keeping my distance from the ball is a big thing for me at the moment. As soon as
Who's your coach?
Paul Smith.
Okay, yeah.
Smudge.
Right.
So I've been with him now for 12 months now. And my game this year has just gone through the roof, really, in terms of the players that I'm competing with.
Picking up some good results.
Yeah, so it's going the right way. So me and you are going to play a game. We're going to film the game and kind of see how we get on, and then potentially talk about it in between games and talk about afterwards. So if there's any strong language, we apologise in between games.
Yeah. Right, so how did that one go then, mate?
Well, I lost, so not ideal, but if I'm totally honest, I don't think I played that badly. I just wasn't clinical enough when I needed to kind of really put pressure on him. I made a lot of tins in that first part of the game.
A few mistakes, yeah.
And just got to learn that I don't need to roll the ball out of the neck and try and make it like this close to the tin, which is what I said in another video. I was just too impatient. I know you're going to go pick the ball up, so I'll try and roll it in the net.
And that feeds into what we were saying at the start as well, that my game, if I can be patient and just run around and keep the ball going, keep the rallies long, sometimes I will come up against players who struggle with that and think, what have I got to do to win a point? It needs to be perfect.
Yeah,
and then they make mistakes and it...
Exactly that. And that's exactly what I was kind of thinking. I figured, I know you're going to get it, so it has to be good. And it just, yes, all right, it can't be above the red line, but it equally doesn't have to be this far above the tin and roll it out the net. I can make you work in that front corner without it being a winner, and then it opens up with it back in the court for me, which anyone would prefer. So, set up the point really well. You know, kept you behind me for a lot of that. Just when I went to go and finish the point off, it was either in the tin or kind of sitting up quite nicely. When it sat up quite nicely in terms of kind of making you go get it, the next one for me to get onto was quite comfortable. So I've just got to try and be disciplined enough to go, right, just put the drop in and make you go get it, rather than actually go, right, I've got to roll this out of the net.
Definitely.
Which is a big problem for most people, so including me.
Let's see how we go in this one.
Game 2. Well done.
I don't like to use the word shite very often, but that was. To go from the level it was in the first game, it was kind of a complete flip.
Yeah, you came out hot, didn't you, in the first game, and kind of caught me off a little bit, but that game was a little bit looser, wasn't it?
You stepped it up and you kept me behind you, and then I was playing some loose stuff on the back and you just put me away, really.
Yeah, so I tried to kind of dominate the tee a bit more. I tried to volley a bit more. It's difficult down at Newton Abbot because the ceilings are a little bit low, but you need to try and kind of use that height a bit more, I think, sometimes to get past me rather than trying to hit past me, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely.
One game all.
One game all.
Game on, here we go.
So there we go. Really good session tonight with Dan. Nice four and a half games at the end to kind of put into practice what I worked on today with my coach, for example, which was getting that distance a bit better again from the ball. Seems to have slipped away from that. But, you know, not too shabby, to be totally honest. And on the grand scheme of things, used to be a real struggle to kind of hit with Dan for a good hour, whereas now it's quite comfortable. So another good hour in the bank, ready for county champs this weekend. Big thank you to Newton Abbot for allowing me to come down and film. Obviously, big thank you to Dan, who's had to just pop off and get a shower. And yeah, really enjoyable sessions.
Right. Me showered, freshened up after a good session, and time to go home, get some food in the body, refuel the tank, ready for my first round of the county champs tomorrow night. Should be some tough games this weekend, so looking forward to see how I get on. Be sure to kind of tune in on social media as well as on my YouTube channel, because there'll be vlogs over the coming days after the weekend. So yeah, thanks all for watching again, and I will see you all very, very soon.